Today we're reacting to the Strad man's video on his insane car collection. This guy's got a pretty crazy story. He went from homeless to now having millions of dollars worth of cars. He goes over the actual costs of them, and I'm excited to dig in and see what is a $2 million cost to maintain. How does all that work? If you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button and let's get started.
Now today's gonna be a good day, today's gonna be a great day, and a portion of today's video has been sponsored by NHTSA. And just like that, we're back, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to vlog. It is another gorgeous day here in the beautiful state of Utah. Now, a couple weeks ago, we appraised my entire car collection. We went car by car and we gave each car an appraised value based off market comparables. But there's so much more to cars than just the purchase price. There's things like insurance and emissions and registration and fuel. You can imagine a Lamborghini Aventador Roadster does not get the most miles per gallon. It does do miles per gallon. But of course, the granddaddy of them all, we have maintenance. Now, in my car,
do you know what gives me the most miles per gallon? That's passive income owned by real estate. There's nothing better, man. I like this guy, Strad. I like his story. But I am a little caught off guard. You've got millions of dollars worth of cars in front of what looks to be, I'm guessing, a $550,000 to $750,000 house. And so I always look at that to go, does this actually make sense? I would be much more impressed with your home collection and your passive income than I am things that go down in value and the insane cost to maintain them. But maybe there's something I don't know, and maybe he's cracked the code on how to buy luxury cars and keep them and make a lot of money.
now we're gonna go
I'll be honest, so far the dog's my favorite part of the video.
car by car and give you guys the running costs for each individual car. Now, a lot of the expenses are unique to that car. Others are kind of sort of boring and have to happen every single year. It's the same rate for every single car. For example, emissions in the state of Utah. Every single car has to pass emissions once a year. It's $39.99. Every single car is $39.99. We're not gonna talk about it again. Registration, for example, it's like $200+. The grand total for registration and emissions for all 15 cars for one single year is $4,119.
So registration and emissions, $4,119. That's not terrible. I'm actually a little surprised it's not more. I'm here in Arizona and my car registrations are actually more than that. So far, maybe this starts to make sense.
Now, one of the big questions I get asked all the time, insurance for supercars. Now, there's a bunch of different factors. For example, I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. The insurance rate is specific to this location. If I lived in Manhattan, the rate might be double. If I lived in the middle of nowhere, North Dakota, it might be half the price. Age is also a really big factor. If I was 17 years old, I'd be paying up the roof for an Aventador. If I was 75, probably a lot less. I'm 33 years old. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah. I have no accidents. I have no tickets on my record. That's right, baby. I have no tickets on my record. My Lamborghini Aventador Coupe insurance, $197 every single month. Now,
I gotta be honest, I don't want to fact check that. I would love to see the insurance that is $197 a month. Unless there's some policy, there's something I don't understand. Insurance is much more expensive than that. I drive a Tesla Model S, and my annual insurance is more than that. So I'm a little confused on how the $2,400 per year, how that you can insure a car that's probably 3 or 4 times my Tesla's value at that rate. So I'm not sure how he's doing that. Maybe there's some bulk insurance where you have more cars, or there's some fleet type insurance that I'm not familiar with. So there's a possibility there.
some of the other associated running costs on the Aventador Coupe, we have tires, for example. These tires are expensive. I haven't shredded any tires on this car whatsoever. That is a big fat zero. Now, I did do an annual service on this car for $2,557. Basic annual service, oil change, whatnot, some other related nonsense. Now, in prior years, I've spent a whole lot more on this car, but in 2021, 2022, that car has been bulletproof. Now, the Aventador Roadster, a slightly different story. Now, this is by far and away my favorite car in the entire collection. I love the Aventador Roadster more than anything else. To say the car is reliable, though, would be a slight vast overstatement. This car has been a maintenance headache, a maintenance nightmare. Just in the last 4 months, not the entire year, just the last 4 months, I have dropped $11,009.
And right here, this is where I get lost. $11,093 in 4 months, not the year. And that's really the challenge, right? You've got these cars that are very, very expensive, and there's nothing wrong with having a really nice car. But what's interesting to me is the cars don't actually get driven. So you buy these cars mostly so you can roll into the club and look really cool, but you're spending a fortune to do it. So if you have a way to monetize this through your business, it could possibly make sense. It could draw attention. Maybe it can get you different things. But let's take a look at these cars, because overwhelmingly the cars don't get driven. I went to cars.com and pulled up every car, every Ferrari for sale, across the country between 2000, that's an age of 2005 to 2018, any mileage. And let's just take a look. You scroll here, 2008 Ferrari, 20,000 miles. Here's one, 2018, 30,000 miles. You're never going to see a Ferrari with a lot of miles on it. Some of us know that, some of us don't. The reason for it is the cost to maintain. As you drive that car, you're just driving down the value. A lot of the people I know that have cars like this, they actually know the cost per mile to drive it. You're probably running somewhere, depending on the car, $3 to $7 a mile is really what it's costing you in terms of both the maintenance, the wear and tear, and the value that's declining by you actually driving it. So this is where I struggle. While the car prices seem high, if you have a high income and you've got a high net worth, it actually could make sense. I mean, you can financially afford to do it. I don't want to buy something that's really, really cool that I can't drive. That's what I love. I used to have a Porsche. I drive the Tesla today. What I love about it, the car is crazy fast. It's actually faster than some of these cars, not all of them. The Model S Plaid is an incredibly fast, the fastest production car out there. And the coolest part is I can drive it. You can actually wake up every day and drive your vehicle, not have it collect dust and just pay maintenance on something you can't drive. But I want to get back and see if there's something else that I don't know about the crazy world of luxury cars.
$93. You guys might remember the dashboard was one big Christmas tree, lights going off everywhere, had the transmission fault, the car was in limp mode, we had the catalyst over temperature, it was burning all that oil just a couple weeks ago. So yeah, $11,093. I put brand new tires on, $1,035. Insurance every month, $228. Now my 2000.
One of the things that doesn't line up for me, like the tire cost, it doesn't line up. I just put new tires on my used Tesla, my old one, and it ran like $1,000. So I don't understand how you're getting tires like that on a car like that at a cost like that. That cost isn't lining up for me.
Lamborghini Murcielago. This car is almost 20 years old. You might remember when I bought this car, it had that pulsating issue. It was dying. We had that sorted. We had an annual service done on the car at Lamborghini Salt Lake. $5,822. Now insurance on the Murcielago. This car is worth a fortune. It's worth easily double of the Innovator. The Innovator is $191 a month. The Murcielago, $127 a month. I don't know. I don't make the numbers. I just pay the invoices, $127 a month. And of course we have the granddaddy of them all, my 2008 Bugatti Veyron.
Now 2008 Bugatti, this is where I think it's gonna get exciting.
You guys have heard the horror stories on Veyrons. My car's been bulletproof. Like, it has had basically no issues whatsoever. So this is maintenance cost on a reliable Bugatti Veyron. I think we need a drum roll. One service, this was for one service, $35,000.
What? $35,000 for a maintenance service? I don't honestly get it. I'm not in the car game. My kids actually love the Bugatti, so I was so excited to see what that car looked like. But to me, $35,000, I can't help but look how to figure out your burn rate, invest the delta into trying to create cash flowing assets. I can't see a way that this actually starts making sense. And if you start adding all of this up across these 50, now he has a different purpose. Stradman's using this for his channel. I'm sure he's using it for his business. He's got other ways that he's monetizing these cars. But if you look at that, it is hard to understand paying maintenance on something and the insurance and all the costs on something you actually can very rarely drive.
For one, and nothing was broken. $35,118. So $35,000 for an annual service. I think there was an airbag warning light as well. You guys might remember I got that flat tire last September at the runway event when I raced the Chiron. I need to replace that OEM tire. I haven't done it yet because when you get a flat tire, you have to replace all four, and it is $38,000. So obviously we're on aftermarket tires. Now,
$38,000 for aftermarket tires after the maintenance right here. In this year, he spent $80,000. Now, this is a couple $1 million car. I don't know if he's going to get what he paid for this car. New, I think they're $3 million plus. It's a couple $1 million car, so it's all relative to the price you're paying. I'm still having a hard time rationalizing some of these costs. And I found this article online. It talks about what does it cost to maintain a Bugatti over 10 years, right? So we talked about it's a $3 million car. So normally, the annual service, $11,500 a year. That's if everything's normal. They try to sell you this as a warranty, so if you could get it to 10 years, you're gonna spend $91,000 to maintain it the first 10 years. Is that all 10 years? And don't forget the one-time plus a $34,000 4-year major service. So just the major service gotta be done, it's gotta be 34 grand. I love that. The tail light Taillights are a bargain. They're a bargain at twice the price. Taillights only cost $10,000. So, you know, no problem there. The engine, so let's just hope the engine doesn't go out on this thing because the engine is a third of its value, roughly $856,000 if the engine goes out on this car. The clutch, what if you drop the clutch and it blows up? $185,000 to replace the clutch. Rotors alone, $18,000. $6,700 for the pads. Side note, love the Tesla, the regenerative braking. I've actually never gone through brake pads. You hardly use brake pads, so reason $785. I love my Tesla. Some of you are complaining here. Look, then you go to, how is this financed? So we've got maintenance. We talked about insurance. Let's go to financing. So apparently there's a whole world in the exotic car financing that I wasn't aware of. Now, a lot of these cars are bought with cash or wire transfer. But you're going to see, number one, they want you to have great credit. We understand all that. They want you to put at least 20% down. There's actually they want to see your vehicle credit history. I never heard of this. I've seen depth of a credit report. I've seen how many, how long your trade lines have been open. I've seen that. I've never seen that they want to loan you. You shouldn't be expected to be able to borrow 150% of the loan amount of your last car loan. So you do not, you would have to, on a Bugatti financing, if you bought it for $3 million, 20% down is $600,000. So you're gonna have a loan of $2.4 million. You would have need to had a previous loan, what is that? $1 million, $1.5 million? I mean, it's a crazy amount of money to already had a loan on a car. Then they extend the loan terms. How cool is this? If you don't like the payment, we'll just kick the schedule out longer, make it a 12-year deal. They go up to 144 months. Most lenders, it says, is 48 to 84 months. I cannot imagine a 144-month car loan. Some of the car sellers do make they prevent you from reselling them because it's very, some of them are lotteries or rare cars. So when you get them, they don't want you to just immediately go out and resell it. There's a rumor that Elon's actually doing that on the Cybertruck. I am in line for the Cybertruck. I don't know that I'm going to be restricted on selling it. Good news is I'm not trying to sell it. But beyond just the astronomical cost of insurance, now you've got financing, now you've got maintenance. Now, I just keep looking at it. It just keeps getting better and better. It just seems totally insane to me, and I'm still trying to have this make sense.
On the Bugatti, I feel like I get a pretty good deal considering the car's value, $418 every single month. Now, next up, we have my 2020 Corvette C8 wide body. We got the Phantom kit. Now, we're not including any of the modifications in this video whatsoever. We have the FI exhaust, we have the wide body kit, we did the paint, the wheels, the tires. We're not including any of that. This is simply running costs. Now, this car has a warranty, and God bless warranties, because I've owned this car for just over a year, and the grand total in its entirety, $104.72 for one single oil change. We also have insurance every single month, $106. Now, on to another reliable car. We have the 2013 Ferrari 458 Spider. Love this car, and it's been pretty reliable. Now, we did do an annual service, $4,700.
Annual service, $4,700. The one that makes sense, right? The new Corvette, much lower price. $4,700 for the Ferrari's annual maintenance. This guy is spending more in annual maintenance. I mean, he's definitely spending over six figures in annual maintenance to maintain this fleet of cars that likely aren't driving. I would love to see, the thing I would love to see is how many miles per year are all of these cars driving? I'd love to know just how far are they actually going.
$104.
And what's the cost per mile?
Basic maintenance, it kind of comes with the territory. We also added new tires for $1,212. Insurance, which is pretty good as well, $182. Now, I'm gonna have to pull out my notes for the Nissan GTR because it gets kind of sort of crazy. So tires alone, just tires, $4,275.82.
$4,270 for the tires.
Bear in mind, I've only had this car back for 3 weeks, and we've already spent $4,000 on tires. We have done a $300 oil change. Not too bad on maintenance. Insurance is $118. Now, in the future, we put $100,000 into this car. It has 1,800 horsepower. I guarantee you, when we make this video a year from today, it's gonna be a lot more than $300. So enjoy the moment because the future is gonna be sad. And up next, we have, of course, the Safari. We got the Urus. And yes, these are the two black sheep in the family. Both cars are for sale, but I got to pay for that house somehow. Now, I love my Lamborghini Urus, but there's one problem with the Urus. I never drive it. I don't have a wife. I have no kids. I have no prospects. I once had a second date, but obviously that went nowhere. I never drive the thing. In the last year, I put like 1,200 miles on it. I did do an annual service for...
Last year, 1,200 miles on it. I love that. Spent $29.55 on service to drive it 1,200 miles. Let's see what the other costs are.
$2,955, mainly because I'm trying to sell it. It's a good selling point. We drove it in the snow one single time, and so I bought winter tires for that one single time. $864, most expensive donuts of my entire life, and I insure it for $167 a month. Lamborghini Urus. Now, I always say that Porsches are the best engineered cars in the world, and the Safari is no different. I've only done one thing. We replaced the starter for $800. I insured it for $104. That's it. That's all we got. Now, if the Corvette taught me anything, I love warranties, and the Ram TRX is exactly...
Well, lucky for you guys, I own a Ram TRX. I actually own this exact truck. I have not done anything to it. I have the standard truck, so I'm going to see how my maintenance compares to his. So far, mine's new. I have under 5,000 miles on it. I've spent zero on maintenance. I didn't do tires, but my insurance, I think my insurance of this car is around $2,500 a year. So if he's got insurance of $700 or something crazy, maybe the thing I learned from this video is I need to figure out how to do my insurance better for my autos. Let's find out.
Exactly the same. Now, insurance is kind of steep for a truck, but it does have a Hellcat 702 horsepower. I pay $114 a month.
$114. He has managed to crack the code on the insurance. I have not cracked that code, apparently. Or is this just not right?
I've done one oil change in the year that I've had it for $295. That's it. Now up next, we have my 2020 Jeep Gladiator 6x6 Helisaurus. The maintenance bill on this thing is absolutely wild. I've said this before. It's the best built 6x6 in the entire world. The maintenance is zero. It's zero. I have not spent one single dollar maintaining this Gladiator in the last year, and the insurance is only $56 a month. Now, that being said, I do get 6 miles to the gallon, so make up for it in other ways. Now we're back at the warehouse to talk about some more cars. We have AMG Boy directly behind me. That is Luke's daily driver, not my car. We have the Nismo, not my car. Supra, my car. We have the NASCAR, not my car. And we also have the Ferrari 430 Challenge race car. Now insurance on this, $146 a month. Honestly, for a Ferrari factory race car, not that bad. Maintenance, zero, zilch, nothing, absolutely nothing. This car has so many issues though. We're gonna pull the motor, we're gonna pull the trans, we're gonna put it on the wall, so none of those really matter. Now, of course, we also have my 97 Toyota Supra Turbo. They always say Toyotas are super reliable. We drove this baby back from Miami. We've done an oil change, a transmission flush, $345. And insurance is only $68. Now, we also have to talk about my Polaris Racer, which the observant viewer would know.
Oh, okay. First of all, great taste. I don't understand half of what he's doing, but I do have a Razor, I have the TRX, so I'm the Razor maintenance, I do know this one. The Razor maintenance, it's gonna be about $800 when you do it, and it's every, I think it's every 500 hours. And he tore a lot of scratches on it. Don't even worry about that.
Minor hiccup, you might say. Now, the insurance on the Razor is $74. I did not make a claim when I rolled this. I did not make a claim. So if my insurance agent is watching today's video, don't worry about it. Didn't happen. Now, of course, we still have the Gallardo, and
damn, I really want to get the, I want to get the maintenance cost on the Razor.
Still have the Countach. So the Gallardo, haven't done any maintenance, no tires. I do pay insurance on it, $111 every single month. The Countach insurance is only $116 a month, which is crazy because the Countach is worth upwards of $600,000, $700,000. And yet cars like the Urus cost more to insure every single month. Now, maintenance on the Countach, we're not saving money there. I have put $50,722 into that car to get it running. I haven't driven the car yet. It should be back here in Utah in maybe a month or so. Also, a fun fact on the Countach, it gets 7 miles to the gallon. Well, we have reached the end of the vlog. We're gonna summarize all the running costs and give you guys the grand total. So,
God, before he does this, what's your guesses? Guess online. $185,000 a year in annual maintenance plus tires. I mean, where is the maintenance cost? What's the total insurance? I am so excited to see what this actually is.
I have my vehicle summary, my Excel spreadsheet that I'm very proud of. You guys know I used to be an accountant in a past life. I like to nerd out. I like to geek out on this kind of stuff. We have all the cars that I own, the year I purchased, the year I sold them, purchase price. We have insurance costs, though. Grand total insurance that I pay every single year, $28,065. Maintenance in the last year, $114,821. In tires alone, $7,368. Registration and emissions, $4,119. Sales tax, kind of an interesting fact. So the purchase price of all the cars total of my entire car collection is $3,356,000. Sales tax in the state of Utah is 6.85%. Quick arithmetic, that is $229,891 in sales tax. And on that bombshell, today's video is over.
And just like that, I'm more lost than when I started. The guy spent over $3 million in cars. I don't understand the game. I don't get it. My advice would be, if you want to buy a car like this, get one that you can actually drive and put miles on it, so that every mile you put in there, it doesn't just drive it to zero. There are better options. All cars go down in value. Cars are not an investment unless you're able to monetize them a different way. But I hope it all works out for him. It was really interesting to watch. I'm excited to see where this guy takes it next.